Okay guys, progress on the layout continues. Turning around so you can see what's going on. A little bit of a mess, I got a few things going on, but as you can see the second part of the benchwork is up, as well as the 2x4s that are going to support my backdrop as well as the second level to this. This part of the layout is going to be an island with operation on both sides, and again the upper level having operation on both sides. And that corner there at the end, I am planning on putting a helix. This part here will extend out a little bit closer to the wall here. Here's my display case. So this loop will come out a little bit further. On this side on this wall, it'll loop around and come out this way and make yet another loop before returning. This area here is planning on being Chicago, Illinois, with the BNSF route coming out of here. I'll planning to have Union Station here and some other stuff going on. It'll loop around. This will be the yard in Cicero, Illinois, coming out to Berwyn, Illinois. This is an area that I grew up and know very well. On the other side of the island will represent a few hundred miles as we go into Wisconsin, ending up at the end here before the helix. Down here will be the end of the BNSF route at Superior, Wisconsin. After it goes up, it will start with the Canadian National route on the other side of Lake Superior at Duluth, Minnesota, continue on the upper level, and again around onto the other side of the island, ending at International Falls, Minnesota, right at the Canadian border. So that in essence is the plan that I have for the layout. I'm sure things will change as they develop, as they always do. I have a hard plan for the main line. As far as the sidings, industries, and so on the spurs, it's still a loose idea at this point. I pretty much know what I want because I'm going to go as prototypical as I can. Again, because some of these areas I grew up real well. The part with International Falls is a place I vacation with every year, right there in the Canadian border. So again, I know it very well. I've been going up there for almost 30 years. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go backwards a little bit to some footage I took before and show you how I constructed some of this and why I did it, and then we'll come back. This stuff here, this is called OSB, or Oriented Stranded Board. Not much more than wood chips or strands of wood, pieces of wood that are glued together either with some kind of adhesive or wax. Very similar to particle board, but a little bit stronger. You can get this for somewhere around $4.50 to, I've seen it as expensive as $7 a sheet. It's sold in 400 by 8 sheets, just like plywood. Not something I really recommend. It doesn't hold up as well as real plywood will. If you already have it and it works for you, go ahead and use it. Don't change your whole layout because some guy on YouTube told you that it's no good. But if you have the opportunity to use real plywood, you may want to go ahead and do that. This is 1/2 inch thick, which is what's recommended by Model Railroader magazine. The other layout that I was working on, he used 3/8 because that's what he had lying around, and he's got a problem with some bowing. Also with that, with my studs, I did a conventional 16-inch, or very close to it, center to center on my studs, which is the same thing that's here in your wall. The other layout that I was working on, he decided to go 24-inch, and again he's got a little problem with some bowing. You can go as tight as 12 if you like. The only downfall with the tighter that you get is that when you go to mount your switch machines, you may have more obstructions than you know what to do with. Alright, so the bracing is done. I have gone through and made sure that my joists are level and that my legs are plumb and that the bench work is still level and in alignment where it should be. So if this was just going to stay a simple tabletop benchwork, the braces are probably a little overkill. I'm going to demonstrate why this is a little important. As I begin to place my 2x4s, I'll let that sit and I'll back out so you can see it. For the second level that'll end up on top of here, the benchwork that's on top is going to make this part a little bit top heavy. And what's going to happen is, as this gets top heavy, this is going to want to kick out, and the base is going to want to kick out this way with the top end going that way. So to counter this, what I'm going to do is everywhere where I put a 2x4, which is going to be where all these studs or joists are, every 16 inches, this 2x4 here, it'll mount to this guy. This will act as part of the fulcrum, and to keep this end from kicking out, I will mount another 2x4 on the outside here down the length of the benchwork, and the bracing will help support that bottom 2x4, keeping this from kicking out. Okay, I have mounted the 2x4 base or runner along the length of the existing benchwork, and when I put the 2x4 in, I'll just rest it up there so you guys can see what's going on. As the weight again is applied here, there is nowhere for it to kick out. Alright, so there's just a few highlights of what's going on and how I put this together. The only other things I really didn't talk about that I added was some more electric down here. The bottom ones now control the command center or command station. This other one controls the PR3 programmer, which my program track's just up here at the moment. And the last one again controls the analog pack, which I either may have the option of going analog or DCC in the system, or I may just have the power some accessories. The other switches will probably control some of the lights. At some point I may put dimmer switches on this if I want to have a little more control. The other addition is I inherited a laptop. As you can see, the screen is destroyed, so I got a new monitor for it. I'm going to add a keyboard. I already have the mouse. And I'll move this, I'll relocate it as the benchwork comes out down here to a spot where I can simply turn the power on and off, but use the keyboard, mouse, and monitor as if it was a desktop computer. And this is where I'll be doing my programming from now on, and probably doing some of more of my YouTube stuff on this machine as opposed to in the office. So there you have it. Again, just a few highlights of what's going on. I know it's a little dark in here. Once I get more of the upper level done, I'll have some better lighting in here. But there you have it. Just like always, leave your comments and remarks and messages and all that good stuff below. I'm happy to hear about it. Whatever information you guys want to share or questions you might have, it's all good. So